Jeremy Hansen here, and today is April 30th, 2022. And today I want to show you guys our fruit set. I feel like this year we did pretty good. Really good with the peaches. I can't wait to show you guys that. And let's just check it out, guys. This is my green gauge plum. We won't get into him right now. He's a little bit slower to start off. But here is my flavor grenade pluot. I actually have quite a few of these guys. Super reliable piece of fruit. You can just see set so heavy every year, and I mean, he's just covered in fruit. I really like this piece of fruit. I mean, just look in there, you see all those fruit hanging down. Very, very nice. And right next to him, of course, I have another flavor grenade. When I planted these guys, I didn't know how consistent they were or reliable. The name, flavor grenade, sounded really cool. The crunchiness of a plum also sounded appealing. But now that I have them, I mean, just look at that. It's become one of my favorite pieces of fruit. It's hard to top anything. I mean, just look how reliable this is. Definitely impressive. And I mean, between the two trees that I have right here, we probably have close to 100 fruit on these two trees. Just look at this cluster right here. So many right there. And right next to them, I actually have the Satsuma plum. And Satsuma, he's pretty consistent too. He wasn't my favorite one to start off with, but since I've got to try, I guess after his first year, I would say I really came to like this one. His first year, his taste was kind of bland. Didn't really have a whole lot of flavor, so I was not looking forward to trying him. His second year, when he fruited, I reluctantly tried him, and I was like, wow, really good piece of fruit. And ever since then, it's just been consistently good, and he's been a consistent producer for me. He's got quite a few fruit on there. I actually have quite a few Satsumas. It's tougher to see their flowers because they leaf out at the same time they flower. And this guy is Flavor King right here. I really want to show some of my peaches here in a minute. Let me show Flavor King, and I'll jump back over this way to show a few others. Flavor King, he does have a couple on him. He's been somewhat consistent. I mean, he's consistent in how much he does produce. He's not the heaviest producer, but he does produce a decent amount. And right next to him is Flavor Heart. This one's a big purple one. I just couldn't help it. I was going to go to the peaches, and then I just turned around and I just saw the Flavor Heart. And I do like this one, man. Nice yellow flesh, purple skin, really big piece of fruit. He's decently consistent. Not the heaviest producer, but he produces every year. And this guy right here, I know I have at least 2 pieces of fruit on him, which I didn't think I was going to have a whole lot because we had that late frost this year, late freeze, I guess. And he was already out in bloom. This is the Florida King. This guy has a couple on him. The other Florida King didn't produce anything this year. But the other peach trees did very well. I mean, this is June Gold. And there's a peach right there. Here's one right here. There's another. A double peach, which I don't really like double peaches too much. But heavy set on the June Gold. Let me see if I can find a few more here. And just all over. There's a few others that I'd like to show you guys here. Look at this. Double right there. That stinks, but right there. Nice fruit set. Heavy. I mean, I know I'm not showing enough, but I have a feeling there's probably going to be 30 to 40 peaches on this thing. He's got a ton on him. And then my emerald drop pluot. He's got one right, oh, he's got two. That's a cool surprise right there. And I see one right here. So that's good. I wasn't able to get him ripe last year. And we'll continue down this way because this guy set heavy too. The Dapple Dandy Pluot. He hasn't been quite as reliable for me, but in the past couple of years, he has set quite a few fruit. So I'll be interested to see how he does this year. I mean, look at this branch right here. Here's 4 right here on this one branch. And there's one more right above it. And then there's 2 right here. He's got a lot of fruit on him. And he's a massive tree. So just look right here. Here's one right here. Here's another. And then there's another back here. So a lot of fruit set on him. And right behind me, this one is very impressive. Later to bloom. But goodness, he set probably, he set so much of his flowers. It's ridiculous, man. And that might be because we got the bees towards the end of it. I mean, just look at this. Right there. This is the Laurine. There's a double peach right there. I don't think it's gonna make it because I see ants in it. But look at that. And even this one right here. I mean, just look at this. So many peaches on there. So many. A lot of doubles too. Which is fine, but look at this, man. So many fruit. This guy's not supposed to be that heavy a producer either. But he definitely, and I don't know if that was because I got the bees when he was in flower, but goodness, he's got a ton of fruit on him. I mean, it had to be like almost 90% of his flowers set fruit. That's crazy. Right next to him is one I'm trying to phase out here. But he is, you know, trying to phase out because it's kind of a bland peach. It's consistent, yes, but a bland flavor, not really sweet, not really juicy. He's a Sam Houston. And so I'm trying to get a peach that I really like in here. I'm trying to make him a Sugar May. Because I've always liked I like the Sugar May that I have. I mean, he's still probably got like 30 peaches on him at least, maybe 40 or even more than that. He's a massive tree. I mean, he's probably pushing 17 feet right there. Huge. And you can see right in here. So consistent, man. But he's kind of a bland flavor, so I'm trying to get the Sugar May in here. And I'll show you the Sugar May in just a second. That's my favorite peach. This guy is the Dapple Supreme. And he is just consistent, man. Really good fruit set on him this year. I'm really excited about this one. Highly recommend it. I mean, if you can. Just so many fruit on this little guy. He's not the most vigorous tree, but goodness, he started setting his second year. First year I cut him back so they aren't able to set, and he's just so consistent, man. Just so consistent. And pretty good, man. Flavorful. I mean, look at that. There's 3 right there. There's another one right above it, another one next to it. And the Geo Pride. And I've seen a couple guys on this one. Yeah, here's one right here. He's always consistent. He's a really big, kind of plummy taste of fruit. Juicy. I really like him. He's consistent. And sometimes he can be a really heavy producer. This year he kind of took an off year a little bit, but he still probably has 20 pieces of fruit on him. And this one right here, the Sugar May Peach. Man, this guy, he's never been like a super heavy setter for me. But then there's this year. Oh man, I mean, just so many pieces of fruit on this guy. So I'm excited, man. This has been my favorite piece of fruit as far as the peaches go. Florida King is outstanding, don't get me wrong on that one. Florida King is amazing, but this guy is just so good, so good. And he has a ton of fruit on him. I'm gonna say he's probably got like 40 pieces of fruit on here, which is very uncommon for him. I think the most I had before was maybe 10. I mean, look at, there's 3 right there. And I don't know if that has to do with anything with the bees. I don't know if I got the bees in time to pollinate him, because they were later. They were around the same time as my nectarines were coming out, which I think is the reason I got nectarines this year. So they didn't set heavy, but they set, and so I'm excited about that. Look at that, man. Just a heavy set on him this year. And this is very exciting, like I said, because he is a really good piece of fruit. A little double right there. So many on here. Very excited about this one. Very excited. And this guy right here is the Trilite Peach Plum. It's a little peach plum in here. And he did set heavy also. See if I can show you one right there. And I'll find a bunch in a minute here, guys. Don't worry. There we go. There's one right there. One right there, and then one over here. And I know I'm not seeing a whole lot right now. Here we go. Here's some. Some of these are going to fall off, like I think this guy's about to fall off. But there's a few right there. And I should be able to finally get to try this guy this year. So if I get a chance, I will definitely do a review video on this one, because I'm very interested in that one. And this guy right here has been pretty consistent for me too. Splash pluot. It took him about 3 years. I think first 3 years he didn't have anything, and then after that he started producing. And he is he's probably has way more fruit on here than I can tell. He's difficult to find fruit with. He hides it very well. He actually leaves out before he flowers, so you can't really tell how many flowers he has on him, but I mean, it doesn't really seem to hurt him. He's probably got at least 20 pieces of fruit on him here. Like I said, very reliable. It's an orange piece of fruit. It's hard for me to get him just right. I always get so impatient because he turns orange like so far before he actually produces. Before they're ripe. This guy is the strawberry free peach. You see there's 3 right there. There's quite a few more right there. And he is one I have not got to try yet either. Ooh, and this guy right here, Flavor Plum Cot. If you remember correctly from my bloom videos, this guy bloomed like crazy. He's very early in the bloom. But unfortunately, he did not set a bunch of fruit. That's the only one I've seen on all 3 of my trees, which is fine. I have a feeling next year with the bees, I should be getting a little more fruit set on guys like these. So we come back over here. I haven't seen anything on this guy yet. I really like this tree too. I have a feeling he's hiding a couple on me. He's a cherry plum. But this guy right here, very consistent. I've actually heard from a guy in Dallas that says if he could recommend one tree, he would recommend this one. It's Spring Satin Plum Cot. And he is consistent. He ripens so early that typically the bugs don't do any damage to him. And he's pretty consistent. I mean, you see right here, I'll be able to tell way more when they start turning purple here in just a little bit, honestly. And he's got, I'm sure, a ton of fruit on him. I've only seen just a few, but definitely a good piece of fruit to have. And while I'm over here, this is what I was talking about, my nectarines. This guy, Arctic Sweet Nectarine, and I've had him for a long time. He's huge. here at the base, I mean, just huge. Look at that. Massive. And I know it's close to graph. No, they've all come up, and they're all Arctic sweet nectarines. And he has yet to fruit for me yet. He comes out and he flowers. But nectarines are always so hard to find on here. But if I can make it around the tree here, look at that right there. Finally, I'm going to have some on here. I think he's got like 5 on him. So I'll finally get to be able to try him. Because it's no fun when you don't get to try your especially when they're this big. I mean, that tree's huge. And I think this one is the Arctic Star. And I think I saw one on him earlier. Arctic Star Nectarine. I think I saw one on him, but I don't see it right now. And these guys, like I said, I've had them for quite a while, but they haven't produced for me yet. You see here, it doesn't look promising on this guy either. This is the Arctic Rose. But once I get over this way, I think I've seen 2 here on this guy. And same thing, he's huge. Oh, there's 3, because there's one right here. And then I know there's another one that's kind of smaller over here. And there's a double somewhere over here that I broke off. So more than likely that one will drop. But I'm finally going to get to try this one too, which would be really good. Because like I said, I mean, these nectarines, there's one right there. It's never fun with fruit trees when you don't get to try the fruit. This one right here. Oh, I forgot to show the Flat Delight 2 peach. Right here. Flat Delight 2. It's an A&M peach, so instead of a piece of fruit, I'll get to try that one, see how it is. I haven't had a flat peach before. Or a donut, as they call it. And this guy right here is my Double Delight. Haven't got to try this one yet either, but he actually has quite a few pieces of fruit on him. So very excited about this one. Very excited. I mean, look at that. Quite a few. Nothing on this guy yet, which I need to clean him up. He's got some dead growth on him. But this one right here has done really well. We're into my apricots now. And this is Royal Blenheim apricot. He has quite a few fruit on him. If I can get to him there. Very reliable, very consistent. It took him a little bit to get started, but now he just, every year he produces for me. And he's a good apricot. I mean, I haven't got to try enough apricots to say there's one that's a whole lot better than another one, but he tastes good. I mean, I like this piece of fruit. I enjoy it. And he just has a ton on him. And then this guy right here, he sets for me every year typically, but he drops them all. This is my cotton candy aprium. He did get one to ripe last year, and right here I think he's got 1 on him. So he's keeping up with that consistency. He might have some others on him here. I have not noticed, because I thought I had one in a different spot. Oh, there we go, right there. So he's got at least 2 on him. So that's exciting. And I've been planting some of the little trees that I had right there. And I haven't checked this guy yet, but he is my Harcot. He typically has some fruit on him, but I honestly haven't checked. So let me show you this guy over here on this side. This side didn't produce a whole lot. But I think this year will be different because, well, this next year will be different. Because we got the mulch. You can see I've officially mulched it all. It's all covered. It's nice and it's thick. So should help them be very vigorous. I mean, they're already getting to be pretty tall right now. And let me see if I can find this one real quick. He always sticks out and gets me. It's a Chickasaw plum called Gunther. I think I walked past him. But let me show you, I'll locate him here in a little bit. Let me show you these guys right here. These guys are flavor grenades, man. They always produce nice over here too, man. I know I talk a lot about the flavor grenades, but it's a good piece of fruit. Super consistent. I mean, even these smaller ones, they can set quite heavy. And I just enjoy that about them. And it's not just this one. I've got a few more over here. And they just, like I said, they always produce. I mean, look at that right there. There's two right there. And I don't have a whole lot of fruit set on this side. There's quite a few more right there. There's two more right there. There's another couple right there. Let me see if I can find this Gunther one now, because he does have quite a few set on him, and he's just a graft in his second year. Here it is right here. I mean, look at this. Second year graft. And I know he's a Chickasaw, and they say he's got the Chickasaw taste, so we'll see how that tastes. But I mean, that's pretty good for just a second year. He's going on a second year here, and I got two grafts on him. This side does have, I think, a couple on him. Somewhere on here, there we go. And right here, and right there. So let me just pause real quick. Oh, you know what? Let me take y'all over to the bees. I've got quite a few dandelions out here for them. And you see, I'm almost done with the mulch right there. I've got just a little bit left. And so I'm going to put on any thin areas. Typically this area back here has a few thin areas. The cherries did not produce this year that I've seen. If they did, that'll be a different video. And you can see right there, I put some sugar water in there for them. There's quite a few. They've been here for a few weeks now. Don't want to make them too angry here, but you see them there at the front. Quite a few there. And while I go out this way, I'll show you. We got our pomegranates. Somebody was asking about pomegranates, which ones are cold hardy. I do not know this variety right here, but a lot of flowers right there. With the bees here, I'm expecting it to probably set fruit this year. I mean, look at that. This one, I do not know the name, as I said, but definitely heavy flowers right there. This one's next to my sprinkler, so it gets plenty of septic water. You see that? And then, of course, we got to go super consistent here, guys. The white mulberries. White mulberries, man, they just... I guess I'm doing a fruit set, so super consistent. I mean, we've picked a ton of fruit off the ground already, and these aren't even my main ones either. I've also got an everbearing mulberry right over here, and it's kind of a dark piece of fruit. Some people like it better. I haven't. I say mulberries are kind of hard to get consistent. You got to make sure you get them when they're ripe. So I typically pick them off the ground. But this one's an everbearing, dwarf everbearing. And you can see right there, they get to be purple. That one was pretty good. This is a dwarf mulberry, but you can see we've gotten quite a few off this. Go for another mulberry here. And he's done well. And then these guys, this is my bigger mulberries right here. And just heavy set right there. And you can see just a lot on the ground right here. Just all over on the ground. I mean, we come out here, we picked it up yesterday evening. We'll pick it up again this evening. Right there, there's 5. Very sweet. Good flavor. Nice way to start the year with mulberries. My bananas, they're doing pretty good over there. This one's the ghost apple. I'll get to my bananas here in a minute. This guy always sets heavy. It's hard to get him to ripe. Smaller tree, but why not? Let him try, see if he can get it. I've said in a few other videos, he has really good potential. He's kind of a nice, dense, seems like a sugary kind of content, but I haven't gotten him to ripe yet. So I've got the figs right here with the rat damage. I'll do those a little bit later. But these guys have been doing really well. They shade the house too, but this is a blue ice cream banana. I'd really be surprised if I don't get any fruit on him this year. I'm really thinking this will be the year for him. But just so thick at the base. I mean, look at that. So thick. I mean, massive base. And I really think I'm going to see some fruit on this one this year. I've been giving him water from the pond. So he's been getting some of that sludge. So we'll see how that... I'm hopeful, but I think we're finally going to have potential there. My Arkansas Black and my Pink Lady have yet to come out. But of course, the Annas, I mean, look at that. I can't leave these out of the fruit set. Really consistent. They do have trouble with late frost. Let me show y'all this one because I just had y'all sticking a leaf right there. I do have trouble with the late frost on these guys. But with that being said, this one, the Einsheimer, I got both those. I got 2 crops off them last year. So, I mean, there's a chance that's the second time I've gotten 2 crops off of them. So I anticipate being able to do that a few more times. So, I mean, 2 crops of apples for 1 year is pretty good. There's not really, I got a little bit of disease to them. This is another Anna. And as I said in my original video, these ones have different types of shape. They aren't necessarily a typical apple shape. They're always kind of inconsistent, a little wonky on their shapes, which is fine. I mean, it's a tart apple, but you can do a lot of things with an apple. I mean, it's an apple producing here in Texas, so I've heard a lot of people having a lot of trouble with that, but definitely nice. The frost got these guys a little bit. And this is the Einsheimer. That's actually pretty good right here. I haven't checked out these guys too much. So I'm just going to kind of scan it and see. Like I said, they flowered. As they're flowering, the frost came. So it was kind of, you don't expect to see a whole lot of fruit set on these guys. Because they lost a lot of it. And then my last Einsheimer right here. The other apples are still yet to come out. So I'm going to get apples on both the Einsheimers. The other apples are a little bit slower to come out. The Fuji, I've gotten quite a few apples off that one, but it does not look like this year will be the year for that one. The red Fuji has been a little more consistent for me. But he's only set a couple apples every year. It looks like I just have the one on this one. And you can see the Fuji's right here. I don't think he's going to have any apples on, but I could check. I mean, well, you never know, right? There's a few right there. And then the red Fuji typically does produce apples on it. This is my multi-graft, which I got the pink pearl in flower right now. Pink pearl, nice. And he's got a few different apples on it. Pink pearl, I believe that's Candy Crisp, the Wolf River apple. So should be exciting on him. And then it's supposed to be a gala apple, which you can see a lot of flowers. I cut him down low at the start, so I don't know if he's a gala or just a crab apple type. Which he seems like he's a gala. Oh, I think this guy was the one over here. Giant Fuyu persimmon. He has a lot of flowers on him. So I should be getting some persimmons from this guy. I mean, you can see right here is very nice. Quite a few more over here. So I should be getting some persimmons this year. They've been in the ground for a while. They don't like the heat too much from what I can tell, so I'll let them produce if they produce any fruit. This is my favorite apple. The Molly's delicious. You can see it still has yet to come out fully, but it's consistent. I expect it to set fruit this year. And it's a nice big apple. A few more persimmons here. Well, I really enjoyed this video in general, the fruit set, showing what you can grow in this area or in Texas in general. I know sometimes it's a little difficult with Houston and Dallas, and they have different climates than me, but this is Central Texas. This is Kyle area. So you can take what I show and you can choose to plant it or go with something else, depending on what your needs are. I thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time.